Welcome back to the Old Warlock Podcast, episode
6-ish.
6, I think.
Yes, something like that.
To begin with, I have been yelled at by the Old Warlock editing staff for picking up my microphone and holding it during the podcast. So
because he'll talk like this for a while, and then he's talking like this for a while.
You guys probably have
back
noticed
like
this.
And we actually had somebody comment about them not liking the fact that they could hear your
Voice?
well, everybody says that.
Sounds about
That's
right.
kind of a given.
No,
No, it was something directed to not wanting to hear your breathing as well. It's kind of a which makes me really kind of want to go, Did you see that James Earl Jones?
I did see that. And did you see who's going to replace him?
No.
Nobody.
Nice.
Anytime that there is a Darth Vader character that's used in something from here on out, they are going to artificially create his voice using computers.
Wow.
They're not going to have somebody actually replace him. I don't know if this is this is what I understood from the article that I saw.
Huh.
They're just going to make his voice using computers, which is kind of crazy and kind of spooky.
It scares me,
Yeah.
but I'm easily frightened.
Yep.
So,
So yeah,
Well, I mean, but I kind of like that in a way, though.
seems fitting.
There's only one Darth Vader voice.
To be honest, I'm sick of seeing Darth Vader and stuff anyway. Darth Vader's been done to death. He's been dead. He's come back. He's been dead again. I just don't care anymore. Give me a new Star Wars experience. And speaking of new Star Wars experiences, Andor. We started watching Andor.
Really good.
Very good.
Yeah,
First two episodes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've not really enjoyed any of the Disney Plus Star Wars things that have come out. I enjoyed The Mandalorian.
yes.
I did enjoy that.
Well, I like the first season of The Mandalorian.
Well, yeah, but aside from that, I just haven't been real thrilled. But I've got real strong hopes after 2 episodes of Andor.
Would you maybe say that you have a new hope?
Oh, jeez. Oh, man.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Okay, but
Why are we talking about this? This has nothing to do with our normal
no,
subject
but
matter.
what I will say is that we are sipping beverages currently. Our favorite varieties of sparkling water, but we are not sponsored by those beverages.
No, but we are.
But before we continue any further in this episode, we'd like to say first a word from our sponsor. Hello. This episode of the Old Warlock Podcast is brought to you by our friend Kid Valhalla, a person of great taste in hats. If you'd like to figure out and hear how to sponsor one of our future podcasts, be sure to stick around until the end of this episode, and we'll tell you how. Thank you, and enjoy the episode.
We put out the call, and the people responded, and Kid Valhalla was the first one to step up. So
It's true, and
Thank
now-
you to Kid Valhalla.
And we've got a list now, so future podcast episodes, if you want to get in the line, again, stick around to the end. We'll tell you how to get in the line.
And we have in fact, we have 2 sponsors in this episode. Kid Valhalla is the overall sponsor of this episode,
It's true.
but we have some sponsors of segments inside. A sponsor of a segment inside this video. But
Yep.
look for those of you who also requested sponsorship, requested to be sponsors.
Yeah.
Stick around for future videos because future podcast videos because you'll be mentioned there.
That you will be. But moving forward
on.
onto our usual topics of something to do with gaming. We recently played a lovely game with all of our good friends called Shadows over Camelot.
Yes, great game. Love the game. I've been playing it for quite a few years now. It's a cooperative, but can also be a backstabber game,
Indeed.
and that is precisely what happened in this particular game
We got backstabbed.
by King
By
Arthur,
King Arthur
no
himself.
less.
Betrayal of the century. It made me deeply upset.
Although I was actually quite impressed by how quickly his son figured out that he was the traitor.
Yep.
I actually we
Yep.
applauded that whole thing because it was actually pretty impressive. That I think it was 2 turns.
Yeah,
where
two
he's,
or
where
three.
he's like, "No,
like,
Dad,
no,
you're
no,
the
no,
you're
no,
the
no,
traitor.
no, no,
Just
Just give it up.
Give it up and die.
Abdicate.
Okay? Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a great game. we're big fans of cooperative style board games. We've been playing a lot of board games recently. That's
Yes.
kind of been our kick that we've been on when we have our little get-togethers. And Shadows Over Camelot, cooperative game. Played it for a long time. I've played it before when I was significantly younger, but we've won once.
I think once. I know it hasn't been more than once.
Yeah, I think that the fact that we've never really won a cooperative board game
says something about us.
Yeah, it's kind of a commentary on who we are as individuals.
Well, who we are as individuals and who we are as a group.
Yeah. Yeah, when the apocalypse comes, no offense,
it's
guys.
It's every man for
yeah,
themselves.
we're going solo. Another game we recently played that was a cooperative game is called...
One of my current... I think it's probably one of my favorite games at the moment.
I think it's okay.
It's really good.
It's a pretty good...
He has no taste.
It's a pretty good game, but it gets kind of boring. I'm going to be honest with you. There's not a lot you can do in it. We've tried and we've lost and we've died.
So you lose and you call it boring.
Basically, yeah. If I'm not winning straight out of the gate, then what's the point? I play video games on easy mode. I play video games on story mode, so that I just experience
being there. Then you should love this game because that's what it's all about. You're just there. You're just in there trying to. We're talking about Flashpoint.
Yeah, it's called Flashpoint. It's a cooperative game where there's a building on fire essentially, and you have to go in as firefighters and rescue people before the building burns down, or the building collapses, or too much stuff explodes, or anything like that.
Yes.
So,
at the advanced mode, it's very difficult to win.
It is unwinnable at the advanced modes.
That is not true.
You
are lying there.
No,
He's lying.
I'm not.
It's not true.
I'm not lying. We've won basic mode a few times at this point, and pretty handily. We've won basic mode a few times. Well,
yes.
Family mode we've won a few times.
Okay, fine.
And it's 5 adult men sitting around playing family mode. And
yes,
yeah, we beat that pretty handily.
Yeah, we took that bad boy on.
Yeah,
and we showed who was
we
boss.
can put out a candle essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
The raging infernos that come in advanced mode, no chance.
No.
We
usually have the entire building go down.
Yeah, we do pretty well to a point, but then essentially there's a way in the game that the more fires that start to explode, and just it sets off chain reactions of explosions throughout the building, and so we'll make it probably 9-10 turns in.
Well, no, but the thing is, we were really close that last time
but
we played.
We have been really close every time.
But that's what makes it exciting. That's why it's not boring.
No, it's
not boring.
We
you confront him with facts, and he suddenly says, "Well, okay, I spoke too quickly." That's what you're going to say, wasn't it?
We need to play a different map, is what I was going to say. Because I'm sick of the house. The house is boring.
Well, there's a two-story.
There's a 2-story building that I enjoy significantly.
I think there's even
more.
a skyscraper. I don't think we've played that.
No, I think that's an expansion we don't have, or you don't have. They're your expansions, but
anyway, I love the game. I enjoy it immensely.
It's a very fun game.
See how he's changed here from
sometimes
it's okay.
It's
to,
okay. Listen. Hear me out. It's a fun game when you first play it. For the first few times, I don't know. I needed a break. I needed the Shadows Over Camelot break.
No, I agree.
Because you said we're going to play Flashpoint again. I'm like,
we played it once, and then we moved to Shadows Over Camelot.
I can only take so much heartbreak.
Oh boy. Okay, fine. Do you see what I got to put up with here?
But yeah, it was pretty good.
What else is going on?
Nothing.
Boy, that was like I'm going to find some cricket sounds to send in there.
Yeah, not a lot really. We haven't really had the time or the opportunity to do much in the way of gaming recently. There's been a lot of other things that we've been doing.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I know we say that every time we get on a podcast, but it's true. This past 4 or 5 months has just been kind of nuts. We still need to get together with Brad.
Yeah.
And play a game with him. I really want to do that, but I hate to feel like I hate for him to think that we're putting him off.
Yeah, we're not, Brad.
We're not. It's just that
if you're watching
continue or listening.
Yeah, or it's a podcast. Watching, listening, subscribing, wherever you are.
Yeah, we need to get together with Brad here before the snow flies.
We got to do that. We got to...
And yes, where we live, snow flies, and sometimes it flies heavy.
We're surprised that snow has not been flying thus far.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't usually stave it off for this long.
Yeah. And it's what? 1st of October-ish?
Well, what is the date on the recording? September 27th. It's September 27th.
We might have had snow flurries by now. We wouldn't have had real heavy snow.
No, we had a big heavy snowstorm last year. Sorry, I'm picking up the microphone.
See, there you go again. God, it's tough to get good help. But yeah, before the snow really flies, we need to get together with Brad and
we've
got
a few other things we need to do before the snow starts to fly.
Brad is the person who puts together the Cheyenne, Wyoming Gaming Convention.
Yes.
Really cool guy. And
if you haven't watched that video on our channel where we talk about that, either one of them, they're honestly some of our highest quality videos. So you should go take a look at those.
As we have said before, that's not saying a lot, but
I think
it's still better than our average.
I'm taking a stand. I think our videos are great. I think everyone should watch them. And Brad does a great job, and that whole organization does a great job.
Yeah,
so
they really do.
For
those of you who have not watched the Cheyenne Gaming Convention videos, Brad, he is the head of, what's the actual name of it? It is the Wyoming Gaming Library, I believe it is.
Yep, that's what it is.
And
it's his charity that he runs.
He runs, and he's kind of a driven guy.
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff.
He really does. But his goal with the Wyoming Gaming Library is to get a bookmobile type of vehicle.
Mobile library is what a bookmobile is, if you've never heard of that.
Yes, for those of you who aren't familiar with a bookmobile, they've been around for a long time. They're just basically big vans that have books.
It's a bus or a van that's been bad bookshelves put into it, basically.
And then it drives around. It's connected with the local library. They drive around, and then people who can't get to the library, they can check out books from the bookmobile.
It just tries to get people
which is really cool.
Especially kids to go and read books,
yeah.
Which is awesome.
Well, Brad has taken that idea one step further, and he has been talking about, and he has a huge gaming library that people have donated to.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But he wants to have a game mobile, for lack of a better phrase, and he wants to have games that he can drive around to various events and set up so that people can play games, which I think is an absolutely cool idea.
Very cool. We are huge fans of this idea, and we were huge fans of Cheyenne Gaming Convention as a whole. We had a lot of fun there.
It really was. I was amazed at how many people showed up at that.
I was as well.
I got to say, I was expecting 200 people, 250. There's a lot more than that. A very successful thing that he put together, he and his volunteers. The reason I bring all of this up is that we worked with Brad to do a video kind of covering the event. And
short little documentary kind of thing.
Yeah, and so we got to know Brad.
Great guy.
He really is. But Brad and I have been discussing, and we want to have the Old Warlock staff, such as it is, and Old Warlock staff and friends. We want to play against the Wyoming Gaming Library and Cheyenne Gaming Convention staff and volunteers in a game of Captain Sonar.
Yes.
So that is our goal.
Which seems very, very fun.
Yeah. So we actually, I still don't have a copy of the game.
No, I know.
Every time I try and find it, it is sold out. I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
But we need to get a copy of that. And what we would like to end up doing, we will probably film that, and then we will put that on the channel.
And our goal is to start doing that kind of thing with other organizations like Brad's up and down the front range of the Rocky Mountains. So
if you're interested in doing that, meeting up with us to play a game, and we video it and put it on our channel, let us know.
I will say, if your organization, more accidentally, would like to do that.
As much as we would love to play with individuals, that's a very difficult thing.
It'd be a very difficult thing to have to plan out and do.
Yeah. I mean, I would love, there are many people who have commented to us that I would love to have join in a D&D game or whatever else, but it's not something that I think we'll be able to do.
That's feasible right now.
Not right now. I think going forward, we might be able to do something online where we could have some people that are fans of the channel join us for a game.
We can maybe figure a little something out. But
for right now,
your store, organization, something like that is interested in that, shoot us an email. All the contact information is down below. So if you figure something out.
Anyway, that's why I brought up the whole thing about Brad.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's a long-winded way of saying we want to play games with organizations, film them, and put them on the channel.
Yes, I had something else
for fun
that I was going to talk about, but I don't remember what it was.
It must not. It was probably a lie. That's what they say. When you say I had something that I wanted to do or say something I wanted to talk about, and you forget it, that's probably a lie. Why are you looking over there?
I don't know, because I thought it was something over there that reminded me. But no, I got nothing. Must not have been that important.
So I'm going to put in crickets there again.
Yeah.
As you can tell, we plan these out really thoroughly.
We had a heck of a time getting everything set up today, and we just filmed a video, so we're a little bit.
That's our excuse. Again, for those of you who follow our podcast, that's always our excuse. I think a big part of the issue is, and I hate to admit this, I really do, Zachary, our videographer, is not here. He is attending university.
Yeah.
And so he is not here to set things up and get them rolling.
University.
And we struggle when when our tech guy is not here to do this. So if, it could be that the only person appearing on this video is Alexander because the camera has shifted or something.
We accidentally cut our heads off a little bit in the last video, so sorry about that if you had to see that.
But, anybody who watches us, that we're a couple of goofballs that don't really know what we're doing.
A couple of goofy guys,
No, goofballs. Why do you always try to you always try to one-up? You're always trying to one-up me on things.
I know.
I say goofballs. What do you say? Goofy guys. You just can't let me have any time.
I'm sorry.
When it comes to editing. Anyway. What else? There were other things that we wanted to talk about. We had Brad. We had games that we have played.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I have been really getting after creating things in my world on Incarnate. Now, we talked about this again last time.
Yeah.
On the last podcast.
Incarnate's a great little program.
It is, and
a big program.
Yeah, it is. It's a robust program.
Good word.
Thank you. I'm not sure if it applies here properly, but it sounds like it fits.
Sounds like that's something that's usable.
But what I have been doing is developing something called Alebuck's Arcane Emporium.
Indeed. This is our first little sprinkle of talking about this.
Yes, because what I did was I have a for those of you who are familiar with the channel and have been following any of our backstory, I have a shop in my world called Brandybuck's Emporium.
Mm-hmm.
But to talk about Brandybuck's Emporium online is actually walking the edge of copyright issues. Because
not talking about it,
but
anything marketable with it.
Anything that we create is we can't do it.
Yeah.
So
because
Brandybuck and the Tolkien estate.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. And I'm not faulting them. I'm just saying that's just the way it is.
Heck no, we would never fault them.
Well, no. Anyway. So what I had to do was in my campaign, it is still known as Brandybuck's Arcane Emporium.
'Tis.
But for the purposes of developing something that I can make available to other people,
to you guys,
it is Alebuck's Arcane Emporium. Oh, yeah.
For those of you who are watching this podcast and not listening, you can see the shirt that he has on right now.
I'll even throw up the graphic because Zachary enjoyed. I told him the story that I have developed over the years for. I'm just going to start referring to it as Alebuck's Arcane Emporium. It's related to a friend of mine who taught me how to play the game, but that's another story. But Zachary really liked what I was doing with Alebuck's, and Alebuck's Arcane Emporium also serves as a tavern. And there's a story behind that as well that involves a ghost. And anyway, Zachary thought it was really cool, so he put together a promotional design for Alebuck's Arcane Emporium.
That he did, which is the design you can see on this shirt right here.
I have it on the shirt, and it's also we're also going to put it up on the screen here just so you can see it because I think it's really cool.
It is pretty cool.
But I have been developing all of that and trying to find ways in Incarnate to reflect the multidimensional nature of Alebuck's Arcane Emporium.
Indeed, and you have succeeded.
I think I've succeeded reasonably well.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I think that it's turned out really well. The multidimensional aspect of it was something that I really wanted to be able to reflect, and I think I've done it.
Yeah,
I think I've managed to do it.
Kind of multi-planar aspect.
Yes.
Planar.
I think planar's right.
Yeah, planar aspect of what all it contains.
Yes.
And yeah, we've sat down and written out a backstory to it, and we've started to come up with some interesting things that can be found there and all kinds of stuff. So
well, and we've really fleshed out the characters and just the reason that it exists, and how Landis Alebuck, that's his name, Landis Alebuck,
the proprietor and owner.
Yes. What his reasons for establishing the business in the first place were.
Yeah.
What the reasons were. And so, yeah, I've been spending a lot of time on that.
It's a neat little world that we've started putting together here.
I might throw up. I'm sorry. I might put up the first floor of that. Maybe I'll put it up on the screen, and then I could make it. Should I make it available?
No.
No. Okay, I won't. Never mind.
I'll just give you a little taste
of it. I'll put it up on the screen so you can kind of take a look through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been taking a lot of my D&D-ish time. Lately.
Energy.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's really what a lot of time has been spent on. But it's been fun.
It has been.
It has been. Yeah, we've really had the hankering to play a little D&D. It's been a little while since we've actually gotten the chance to sit down and play.
It's been a long while.
Yeah, which is a bummer, but these things take time.
But something else that I have been doing, we did a video on Raging Swan, or was it the podcast that we talked about Raging Swan Press?
Podcast, I think.
I don't think we dedicated an entire video to Raging Swan Press.
No, I think it was just a podcast.
Anyway, Raging Swan, it's run by a gentleman out of the UK. Really does some great stuff. I really prefer the way that he does it's supplemental material for D&D. Everything from original or AD&D all the way through to 5th edition, but really, really good stuff because when he puts it together, it's exceptionally easy to slot it into your own campaign.
Yes.
And which is what I really like about it. He leaves a lot of room for you to actually write in what you want to have in the module.
Yeah.
And so I've been really taking a lot of things. He offered up like a package deal of all of the things that I could be wrong on this. I think it was all of the things that he had put together in 2021.
Yeah, I think that's what you said. That sounds right.
And he made it available for a really cheap price, so I bought a bunch of that. And I've actually, I like it so much that I've dedicated an entire island, a fairly large island. I mean, it's 1% of my entire world, but I've still a large island. I've actually allocated that island to integrating all of his things from one specific part of his creative content. I've put it onto that island. So
yeah, and you have made a lot of
spending a lot of time doing that.
Updates to your D&D world, things that are going to be changing.
Yes,
which suck. They're cool, but they make me upset because there's a percentage chance that I have not yet rolled that I might lose a good portion of my stuff because my main character that I have in his world, which is pretty powerful. He's not doing too bad.
You're about ready. You just almost lapsed into Kronk there.
Yeah, he's doing all right, But he's most of his items, his gold, things like that. There's not a small amount of it are stored in bags of holding because we had to kind of pick up all our stuff and move away from where we were because there's a big army that came through and we had to run. And you can probably explain this better than I can, but magic essentially is going to operate very differently in your world because of some big thing that's taken place that we don't know about. There's been kind of this annihilation of magic, this apocalypse of a lot of magic and how it functions. So my stuff might go bye-bye, and I haven't done the percentage roll yet for figuring out if my things are actually going to disappear, and I'm putting that off as long as possible because if it does, I am going to cry. And I don't want to do that. So, we'll see.
Yes, we will.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember if we talked about this. I think we mentioned that this is going to happen in the last podcast.
I think we may have
but I
discussed
don't
it
think we talked about any real details. But for those of you who are interested, I've reached a stage where I think that there's far too much magic available in my campaign.
I disagree.
And this has been something. I was always a magic minimalist back in the day, but over time it has slowly increased and increased and increased. And
which is great.
It's time now to rein it back in. But I had to have a logical reason for reining it back in and a logical way to rein it back in.
To purge it. That's the word I was
Purge
thinking
is a
for.
good term. That's a really good term.
Yeah.
Magic in my world is a lot of what's going to happen is magic in my world draws its energy from the positive and negative planes.
Yes. And if you're curious about what that is, be sure to check out our video on the Manual of the Planes, available on the Old Warlock YouTube channel.
Right. What do you
Sorry.
say? What do you say?
Continue.
Anyway, that's where magic draws it in varying amounts and things from other planes, but its primary power focus comes from the positive and negative planes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in addition to that, I have always made it so that any kind of a magic item needs to be encased in another magical spell.
Yes.
Think of it like a battery. You've got power inside of this casing, and that casing is what focuses that power.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as in more recent times in my campaign, the past several centuries, there has been more and more wizards have been able, and others have been able to create magical items, but they haven't been doing them as well.
Yes.
And so they're fine when they're first made, but as time goes by, they become unstable.
And the kind of things he's talking about here are like a +2 spear.
Right.
Not, a Vorpal sword of something, or the light bringer of the lord of something, or stuff like that.
Right. I mean, all the things that were made in quote unquote ancient times, they're just much higher quality. And so they are much less likely to become unstable. But as soon as these more recent things become unstable, they become dangerous.
Yeah.
To both the wielder and to
the wieldee.
And or the innocent bystander in a lot of cases.
Who could become the wieldee.
The wieldee or the wielder, it's hard
Depends
to say.
on the situation, but yeah.
But long story short, there was a large push, or there was a large wave of magical items made at a certain time in my world because of the dissemination of knowledge that had been kind of proprietary prior to that.
Good words in that sentence.
I'm impressed with myself on the words that I just used there. But the issue being all of these less well made items that came after the end of that ancient time, now they're starting to fall apart.
Yes.
Consequently, it's becoming dangerous, and bad things are happening.
Yes.
And you're going to bear the brunt of it.
But this is even across the board.
Yes.
So if my armies, which I don't have, are going to be equipped with basic weapons, there's a good chance the other guys will be as well. And I'm fine with that. As long as it's even.
Yeah, it's not specific to you. It is happening across the board.
Then
but
I will be okay with it.
The other thing is I am going to have this create a real fear of magic among the general population because of the dangerous nature of it.
Which is fine, because I am not a magic user. It's not fine, actually, but I don't know. There's a few ways that I'm thinking about playing it, There's a lot of different ways I could take this. I could protect the magic users. I could start to collect magic users together who have the ability to create powerful magical items that aren't going to fall apart, things like that. So there's a lot of different ways I could take things.
Or you could go on a crusade against the magic users.
I could.
You could lead the people with their pitchforks and
that doesn't sound like
torches.
That's
not you. No, that's not you.
No. This character was made in 7th grade by me, and he's basically just like the altruistic, nice guy. Wants to help the little person, the little man.
That's true.
Yeah. So
that's too bad, because that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm kind of bummed that's not an option. But yeah, that's where we're going in terms of Dungeons and Dragons.
At least in my campaign.
Yeah.
We never talk about your campaign.
It's because
and I have never played in your campaign.
You have not. No, I
keep waiting.
I've only DM'd for people who are my age who want me to DM for them, because I have more Dungeons and Dragons experience than the alternative. So they're like, hey, would you like to...
So all of your friends are more important to play with than your own father. Essentially. Okay, I get it. I understand.
If you want my honest answer,
doesn't hurt.
I am afraid to DM. Because you guys, at least you, have told me merciless stories about when some of your friends have tried to DM and not done very well. The treatment that they have received since makes me apprehensive.
I do not know what you're talking about.
No.
I
Of course
have
not.
no idea.
You're not
what
the
you're
most
talking
judgmental
about.
person I know.
No, I'm not. I know exactly.
And this, honestly,
so why are you so afraid?
honestly, I remember when I was a kid, you would get upset with me if I didn't play D&D to the standards that you expected me to.
Would I?
Yeah. Like if we left somebody's house after playing D&D, especially when I was younger, when I was in like high school, and I didn't play to the level that you thought I should be playing, you'd be like, "Come on, you weren't on your game tonight. What are you doing?" It'd be like if I was on a traveling soccer team and I like screwed up and let the other team score. Like, I've paid all this money to make sure you can do this. I've put in all this effort.
and
this is how you repay me.
This is how you play the
My
game.
expectations were so high, and this is what you're
wrong
going to
with
do. You embarrassed me. And it's just things fell apart. So
Well, but the thing is, now in my defense,
and that combined with my deep-seated anxieties about life in general,
right.
lead to me, being.
So now you're
concerned.
saying that I'm just a failure as a father.
No, you're not a failure as a
That's
father.
what you're saying.
I'm
That is essentially what you're saying.
I'm just afraid of you.
Hey, everybody, Jim's a failure as a father. Just to let you know.
I would never say that.
He would never say it. He hints around. Exactly. He hints around about it a lot. Golly, I swear.
But no, I will at some point. I've had some ideas of things that I could have you guys do. But
Well, you've told us. You've told me about all kinds of cool stuff that you're developing, and I think.
Yeah,
I've said in a positive, supporting way, "Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. I would love to play that." And then what happens? Nothing.
the
Crickets,
other thing is when I'm developing my D&D world, which is somewhat, it's kind of fleshed out. The background for it is very fleshed out. I get distracted too easily, so I have in the past. I'm only recently in the past couple of years coming into a point where I can sit down and start to write out campaigns of what I want people to do.
Yeah,
because before then, I would start to come up with an idea for something like, "Oh, this is really cool," and I'd write a little bit of it, and I'd like draw some of it and come up with what it was going to look like. And then, the next day I'd be like, "Oh, well, but this is also really cool in a completely different setting with a completely different group of people on the other side of the planet," and things would fall apart from there.
Focus is not his strong
It
point.
is not my strong
It is
suit.
not his strong point.
No, but what can you do?
Well, you can start to focus.
Next up
Anyway,
in the podcast.
moving on from there.
We
I guess in this podcast I have learned that I was a terrible father because I would criticize my son.
No, you weren't a terrible father.
And say, "Gee, why didn't you go to the library like I expected you to?" It's not like I'm beating the child, although there are times I probably should have. Might have been focused on your D&D game.
Oh my god. Anyway,
yes. Go ahead.
we thought we'd go through the traditional podcast subjects of spells and some magical items, and we would talk about just random ones, and we talk about what we think about them. What do you think of that? Should we go ahead?
I think that is a great idea.
Fantastic. Thank you for
Yes.
being so supportive. All right, I'm going to flip through randomly here. Random spell. We have Rary's Mind Shield.
Nice.
Interesting. Level 5, range, touch, components, verbal, and what's the S stand for?
Somatic.
Somatic, yes. Casting time 1 round, duration 1 hour plus 1/2 hour per level. Area of effect is the creature touched, and the saving throw is none. I like spells that don't have any saving throw. I think that's good.
It's kind of dark.
Yeah, I know. But
And you'll like those until they come and affect you.
yeah, I'm happy until they're used against me.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
this spell is used to protect a creature from intrusions into the mind. I like that quite a bit. Spells or mental powers that can probe a mind have no effect on the creature. The creature makes its saving throw at a +2 against all enchantment, charm, magic that can affect thoughts, memories, or behavior. So charm, fascination, suggestion, emotion, and others.
Nice.
The Mind Shield allows a saving throw at -2 to avoid a Gaius spell. Gaius spell. Notes, uncommon, or rare spell. I actually like that quite a bit. I have always... Okay.
Don't lose it.
I won't lose it. This is going back quite a ways here, but if you've watched the inspiration for D&D video that we made, I talk quite a bit about my love for the Aragon books written by Christopher Paolini. They were big when I was growing up. It was a very popular series of books. And in those, that is kind of what a lot of the magic is focused around, is you have to shield your mind from other people who can use magic, because they can basically use psionics to get into your mind and attack you through there and do different things. So that reminds me a lot of that, and I think that's a really cool way to look at magic. I like that quite a bit. That's a cool spell.
Yep. It is good. The reason I wanted you to hand this over to
Because you don't know who Rary is.
That's it. There are so many Rary spells.
I'm not sure.
Rary's Aptitude Appropriator. I love that. Rary's Empathetic Perception. Rary's Memory Alteration. Ooh,
That'd be a fun one. That'd be a fun one.
This more powerful version of the Forget spell allows the wizard to actively alter a part of a creature's memory. The portion of memory the caster can affect is limited. How long have we been doing this?
We've been going for a little while here.
So we need to shut it up.
Well, not quite, but
the wizard could replace real facts about the event with false ones, or even place a completely new memory into the creature's mind. I like that. I'm not going to go into the details of it. Rary's Mind Scan, Rary's Mind Shield, Rary's Mnemonic Enhancer, Rary's Plain Truth, Rary's Protection from Scrying. Yeah,
that's a good one. I like that.
Rary's Replay, Rary's Spell Enhancer, Rary's Superior Spell Enhancer, Rary's Telepathic Bond. What do these come from?
I have no idea. If you guys, because this is a second edition book technically, right? It compiles second edition spells. If you guys know, and I'm sure some of you probably do.
Oh, this is all out of World of Greyhawk. So
okay.
Rary must be a character in World of Greyhawk, which I haven't.
No, we don't know that much about that. But nothing really.
So yeah,
that's really cool though. I like those. Those are spells that could be creatively used, and I like a good creative spell, magical item, anything like that.
Rary's Urgent Utterance. That's really good too. Cool. Yeah, I need to look more into these, and then maybe I'll pass these on next time on the next podcast.
No, yeah, those are pretty cool. I like those a lot.
One thing I don't like about these, as those of you who watch our podcasts know, I purchased the Wizard Spell Compendium. I like to have the actual three-dimensional books, not just PDFs. And in the originals that we're looking at here, there's actually a ribbon that's attached that could allow you to mark certain pages, but they don't have those in the Wizard's Spell Compendium.
In comparison to the Encyclopedia Magica, which is what this is.
Yes. But, so anyway, cool thing. Cool stuff.
Sounds like it's random magical item time. Flip. Stop. And we're going to go with this one right here.
You've got to be kidding.
Wait. Is it the flute?
That's the one that you...
This is a... All right.
Okay.
The Flute of Puppies. When played by any character, this flute immediately polymorphs 1d4 attacking creatures of 4th level or less into neutral puppies. When a bard performs with this flute, 1d10 attacking monsters, 4th level and below, are polymorphed into neutral puppies. This item was created by William Moots, who has since passed from the prime material plane. We were asked to include this as a tribute to him, and so we have.
Oh, that's
cool. Nice. That's very
pleasant.
Neat. That's really cool.
Here's to you, William. That's cool.
William Moots, good work, man. That's a cool item. I like that a lot. Completely different from.
I was not expecting.
Flute of
that.
Puppies. No, but I like that quite a bit. That's very cool. Gold piece value is 6,000. XP value is 1,200. Honestly, this is an unbelievably powerful item.
I'm laughing about it, but there's a lot of stuff you could do with the Flute of Puppies.
Yeah. You could start a whole army. Is it permanent? I can't tell if it's permanent. I feel like it might be.
I think that you could just, I think you're right. It just says polymorph, doesn't give a saving throw.
Wow. So 1d4 attacking creatures of 4th level or less into neutral puppies. But if you're a bard, 1d10 attacking creatures. So you could really lay some waste to different people.
I think that, I mean, just marching through the countryside, turning everything into, you could be a real,
you could cause some problems.
You could be a pox on the people as you went through and turned all of their cows into puppies.
Absolutely.
I mean, until they paid you money to stop.
Yeah. It's a very peaceful way to just wreak havoc on everything.
I really like that.
So this is page 1,542 of the 4th.
I think you got the 4th.
Yeah, volume 4 of the Encyclopedia Magica.
Another reason why I highly recommend getting the Encyclopedia Magica, because you never know what you're going to come across.
Yeah, that's cool. I wasn't expecting that. That's a neat item. And put in there for a good reason, too. William Moots, again, shout out to you.
Last thing. We have one more thing to talk about.
We do.
Back in what?
I got to put down my microphone.
Yes, you do. Jeez.
I know.
It's like training a puppy. I swear. Anyway. Years and years ago, back in the old days, fanzines used to have things called after action reports, and a lot of these
that they did.
A lot of these came from actual wargaming fanzines. And so what all the after action reports were, they would just be a brief description of what took place in the game between Tom and his friends, and you could kind of live vicariously through these after action reports for a minute and a half. And they were very common, and they're actually kind of fun to read. we decided
We're going to start a new segment.
we're going to start a new segment of After Action Reports.
But first, a word from our sponsor. Hello. The Old Warlock After Action Report segment is sponsored by Travelin' Root Beer. Travelin' Root Beer, purveyors of Dungeons & Dragons, barbecue, and world travel.
And this was actually submitted by Danny of Travelin' Root Beer.
Yeah, thank you, Travelin' Root Beer.
Here is the After Action Report. This session was a mini-campaign finisher involving 5 regulars and 1 occasional player. The players found themselves at a temple in the jungle called the Temple of Destiny, where it's said that those permitted to enter are allowed to fast forward to their ultimate destiny.
Sounds cool.
Cool concept. The entryway is guarded by 2 sphinxes named Mork and Mindy. So, Danny, you're actually dating yourself there because most people you're gonna have to have some old knowledge to know who Mork and Mindy are. But anyway, entryway is guarded by 2 sphinxes named Mork and Mindy. Each gave a player a riddle, and the other players could only help the one in question through charades but no verbal aid.
Like it.
Very good.
Big fan.
This is
That's
so
cool.
far. Everyone made it through, but Bartholomew, the human thief, decided not to enter the temple and waited outside.
Wise decision, Bartholomew.
Bartholomew, I'm with you, buddy. That's the way I play my
You're
thieves.
talking to the king of hiding and running away.
I will wait outside until this is over, and that way I can either pick the bodies or I can go in and take part of the treasure.
There you go.
Yandala, the halfling goddess, took the players in and showed them their destinies. Bitsy, the female halfling cleric, was sent to reincarnate as Dragonborn Paladin, Protector of Halflings, which was an NPC of a previous campaign these players had met.
Nice.
Thunderer, I like that. Thunderer, I think it is.
Yeah.
The dwarf fighter was to return to his dwarven fishing village as an accomplished adventurer on his war pony and made the village chieftain.
Nice.
So, kudos to you, Thunderer.
Thunderer.
I think it's a play on Thunderer, but
Yeah.
I'm guessing there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sershaw, the elf magic user, was to return to her family's castle, the party previously reclaimed, and start a magic school.
Big fan.
These
These
are good. This is good. Jed, the human magic user swindler, was given an ultimatum. Also go to the magic school or end up killed in an alley. He chose not to fast forward to either destiny and left the temple.
Good call.
Milo, the human child appearing warlock, was shown that he could planeswalk to the next campaign we're about to start. This served as a narrative for the beginning of said campaign.
I like that quite a bit. Very creative.
Yandala showed the others Bartholomew, the thief who waited outside, his destiny as well. He was to end up a crime lord in another realm in a land known as Baltimore. Jed opted not to tell Bartholomew, and the two left the temple together to continue their own adventure before arriving naturally at their destinies.
I like it. That's cool.
Interesting note, there were no dice rolls in this session. Now, I love that.
Big fan.
I love that. Just role play and the answering of the Sphinx's riddles. Decisions were made to enter the temple or not, but nothing was left up to chance. The only exception being that the player who played Bitsy rolled her d20 once in secret to determine whether she should go into the temple or not. This is something she frequently did as a cleric to get divine guidance. I like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, this session proved that you can have all the fancy supplements, props, maps, and minis you want. But a good game can be played strictly through narrative alone.
Let's go, Danny.
So,
Shout out to Danny.
that's great. Fantastic.
I like that a lot.
This is really cool.
I completely agree with the tail end statement he made there.
You darn right.
No replacement for good role playing.
That's right.
That's what makes things more exciting than anything.
And if you can get through a night without rolling the dice more than once,
Yep.
that to me, that's a really successful game. I love it when that happens.
Absolutely.
Anyway, that's the After Action Report. We hope to do some more segments. If you have an After Action Report that you'd like to submit, let us know. Just forward it on to us, probably through the website. That's going to be probably the best place to do it.
Leave a comment on the website. There's a contact section in there that really gets our attention pretty easily.
Yeah. Sometimes comments slip through the cracks, but we will notice if it gets sent to us through the website.
Yeah.
But I like it.
I liked it quite a bit.
Danny at Travel and Root Beer, thank you for forwarding this. This is really cool.
Sounds like you guys had a heck of an adventure.
It does indeed, and I think we're going to live vicariously through them for the next couple of hours
Absolutely.
while we discuss what we would have done in this situation.
I
But
would have stayed outside.
I would have stayed outside. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that brings us to an end.
I think that's all we got.
I'm Jim from the Old. Do we want to mention anything else? Oh, we had talked about how you can sponsor segments yourself.
If you would like to sponsor
Yourselves.
the next podcast episode of the Old Warlock, well, you won't get the next one because there is already a list.
There's a list.
The few people who would like to sponsor the coming episodes. But if you'd like to get on that list, just leave a comment down below saying that you'd like to, and we will put you on there. That's really all that right now. That's really all that there is to it. So
we just want to be able to say we have sponsors.
Yeah, might be a little wait, but we'll get you on there eventually. Unless you'd like to send us another after action report through the website, then you'd be able to sponsor a little segment. So, and we might figure out more ways to do this and get you guys, if you'd like to do something like that. Let us know if you want us to expand it more.
Because we really want to make this something that you guys enjoy watching, because maybe you get mentioned.
Yeah, because it's fun for us too.
Yep.
So if you'd like to do that, leave a comment down below, send us an email, talk to us about it in some capacity, and we'll see what we can do for you. Other than that, check out all of our social media things, mostly Instagram. That's really all we use. All the links are in the description. Check out the website, all that fun stuff, Spreadshirt Shop. Again, all the proceeds from that go directly back into the channel. So if you'd like to purchase something on there, it just helps us to continue making this
If you
stuff.
want to just throw a few dollars our way, the best way to do that is through the coffee page.
Yes.
You can buy us a coffee. I think coffees are
They're
$2
on our coffee page right now.
$2.
Yeah, it'll give you access to a little bit of exclusive content. We haven't done a ton with it. It's just
Yeah.
more for, helping out with the channel.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It just helps with the channel.
But if you don't want to do that either,
That's
no
okay.
worries. That's fine. Thanks for stopping by.
We get it. We're glad you're here.
We
Anyway,
appreciate the view.
yes. It all adds up.
So, yeah, thanks guys so much for watching. If you're still here, good work. We're surprised.
If
but,
you're not here, you won't know what we're saying.
Nope.
Anyway, I am Jim.
I'm Alexander.
Keep your sword on free.
Bye-bye.